it up every single time. And it's my name.
It's her name, everyone, and welcome. We are live. We are live. It is,
Hey.
hey, it is, who am I? Remember, I was like, who am I? This is, I'm the clueless man. Yeah, that's what it says right there in the thing. I'm definitely clueless about clothes. And today we have Alicia from Murrayed Life, and she has a really cool YouTube channel. She talks all about Poshmark and her basically her clothing hauls. So there's definitely a link to that below. So definitely everyone that's watching this now or on the back end, definitely go and check that out. She's almost at 1,000 subscribers. So you're about 150 off. I saw
Something like
earlier.
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of went down the rabbit hole like I did when I needed to get a 1,000 subscribers to get monetized.
Mm-hmm.
So this channel was actually, when that first started, this channel was like that, and I had to kind of restart everything all over and really hustle to try to get those views and everything. So
Yeah.
it's totally doable. She's got an amazing channel and all that. So definitely go and check her out. I'm gonna try to post a link to your site. Actually, I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna post it in the
Okay.
chat room. There is her link. And so without further ado, Alicia, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone here?
Yeah. My name's Alicia, and I live in a little small town here in Mississippi. And I recently quit my job a couple months ago at my family's antique store. And I decided that I wanted to resell, but not resell antiques, but go more into clothing. That's what I'm really passionate about. I really like the fact that we can reuse clothing and decrease our carbon footprint. I think that's so important, in this day and age to really start thinking about that. And I think a lot of other people just want to get a good deal. And I'd be more than happy to give y'all a good deal. This makes me really happy. And I think this is a great opportunity for anyone that ever wants to make some side money, or even, if you want to make this a full-time job, that's what I'm doing. You can go to yard sales, you can go to thrift stores. If you only have $5 in your budget, you can go ahead, spend that $5, and you can flip it to really make yourself a good paycheck at the end of the week. So that's mainly what my channel is about, is flipping, $5-10 at a yard sale or a Goodwill. And that way you can go and try to make more and more money from that. It's definitely possible. And I also want to show people that you don't have to just buy Gucci. You don't just have to buy Louis Vuitton. You can buy, cheaper mall brands. I live in Mississippi. I don't find, Prada. I don't find, some of the bigger name brands, but I still make it work. So if I can do it, I believe anyone can do it. And so that's what my channel is really about, just empowering people that really want to make some extra income, or even if you want to have a new full-time job. I'm just showing people what I'm doing and what's working for me.
Yeah, that's great. And everyone can see what an amazing personality you have. And that's one of the main reasons why I definitely wanted to have you on the show today. I don't do many interviews, but I was like, this girl is awesome. I love your attitude. And so I was saying, before the show that, I'm not really too familiar with clothing and things like that. I'm more collectibles, antiques kind of guy in that neighborhood. So I love watching your channel because you kind of give a young, fresh perspective on the clothing business and Poshmark and things like that. So let's kind of back up a little bit. You said that when you got started, now is it your parents own an antique store? How did that all go?
Okay. It was an accident. So I'll tell you what it's my husband's family. It's his mom and his stepdad that own the antique store. They actually got started by Storage Wars. Years ago, that was like the big thing, like everyone wanted to go out and buy storage units. Well, when that show first started coming out, they started doing it. My father-in-law was hooked as soon as he saw the show. So he did the Storage Wars, and he didn't know what he was getting. My father-in-law just did it for fun. So what he would do, he would just buy the stuff at Storage Wars, bring it back. He had a construction business, and they had a huge warehouse. And on the weekends, he would just open up the warehouse and set up just folding tables of just the stuff that he would find in the storage units. accounts. And he would make so much money. He would make like triple times his money, whatever he invested. And then it wasn't until one lady came by. It's a funny story. One lady came by the store months later and she said, I just wanted to thank you for helping me pay my divorce. And he said, what are you talking about? And she said, well, I bought a whole set of Limoges from you and I got it for like 50 cents a piece. And I went on eBay and I flipped all that and I was able to pay a lawyer. And it was all because he didn't know what he was selling. So from that very point, he realized that he needed to look up his stuff. So anyway, long story short, my poor brother-in-law got in a horrible car accident about 3 years ago. And he was doing the storage word things, and they decided to up the ante. They decided, what if we turn the warehouse into an actual store? Like, what if we just buy more and turn this into the store? Well, here it is. It's 3-4 years later, and I think right now they have 13 employees. I was one of them. I worked there for about a year and a half. I quit my job to go work with the family. It was awesome. You know, we had so much fun. And that's also where I kind of realized that I love selling on eBay. It was always like a fight, not a fight, but it was always like a fight between me and my sister-in-law. Who got to post the eBay stuff today? You know, that's what I love to do. And then when we started like doing like vintage clothes, things like that, that's when I realized that that was kind of more of the road I wanted to kind of go down. But yeah, as far as the antique store, it, like I said, it kind of started off as an accident. It wasn't necessarily anybody's dreams. It was just kind of something that was just laid out there, and everyone has benefited from it extremely. Whenever the construction business had really slow months, the antique store was able to really still support everybody in the family. Everybody in the family quit their job to come to the antique store. So it's really fun. We have a really good community. If anyone who's watching this, if you're ever driving down the Gulf Coast in Mississippi, my family's antique store, it's called Funky Junk Liquidators. They have an eBay store if you ever want to go and see, you know, what they're selling on eBay, but you can see them. They have a Facebook. I run their Instagram still. But yeah, that's where I realized my love for selling stuff online.
That's a great story. And like 13 employees, that's pretty big. Is that anywhere close to where you are right now? Is that in the same town, or how close is the antique store to you, would you say?
It's not, well, you live in California, so
Yeah, everything's so close to us here. So is it
so
in, do you live in the same state as the antique store?
I do.
Okay.
I only live like 30 minutes away from it,
Okay.
which is a very long commute. If you live here in Mississippi, everyone
Mhm.
works like 5-10 minutes away from their job. But
Right.
if you're comparing it to like California, I live right next to it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, like here in California, it sometimes with the traffic, it takes you a half an hour to get down the street.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
Mississippi, that's pretty cool. So you know, definitely. And you said you were there for a year and a half. During, so like what were some of your duties there basically?
Everything. Everyone in the family helped. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, a normal day would consist of us getting there really early. We usually worked like 12, 13, 14, sometimes 15, 16-hour days. Running an antique store, it's a lot of work. There's someone on YouTube, Nevermore Antiques. He kind of talks about the antique business a little bit. It's a lot of work. You have to like what you do, or else you're not going to make it. You have to get there early. You have to advertise your stuff. You have to find the right audience. You have to price everything, because you're getting a lot of stuff that you're not really familiar with. You're not getting stuff at Walmart. So you have to know what everything costs, like what the market, you know, what the market's going for it. So my duties would include loading the U-Haul. I'm a girl, but I loaded the U-Haul, drive the U-Haul, unload the U-Haul, clean the entire store, do the eBay, package up everything, check out customers, literally everything that you could do in a store, I did. And the rest of the family did as well. It was the epitome of what you think of when you think of a family business. Everyone doing everything.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense, because a lot of my jobs I had over the years have really helped my reselling career. So, would you agree, like working at the antique store, you learned a crazy amount of stuff about collectibles and things?
I learned way more than what I need to learn, probably, about stuff. Antiques had never been an interest of mine. I never really went antique shopping, to be completely honest, before I started working there. So, really, as soon as I started working there, I still remember it like it was yesterday. I remember my first day on the job. I was like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And it's just because you see so many things that just aren't even in existence anymore, like that we just don't use. Um, Pretty much every day was a learning experience. I was really lucky that we had a community around here, that we had a lot of ladies that used to own antique stores. And a lot of them would come by and they would say, hey, let me show you this over here. I think you could price this higher, or let me tell you what this is. So pretty much every single day you learn something new at the antique store.
Yeah, that's great. And so, like for me, when it comes to going into antique stores, it's definitely a plus to know your stuff because for the most part, most antique dealers, they're going to know the things that are in their store. So going in as a reseller, you really got to be, really know your stuff because for the most part, they know what they have. So going to go source in an antique store, you're really not going to find those kind of crazy things, but there are out there. And so, would you agree in that? Like for the most part, antique dealers they kind of know their stuff. But like you said with the Limoges things, and that was before your father-in-law, you said,
Yeah.
yeah, knew about all that kind of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
for those that
Didn't
don't
miss
know,
a plate.
yeah. So for those that don't know what a Limoges is, will you explain that to everyone?
Yeah, Limoges. Just putting it really simple, it's basically China. It's really expensive China. Some of it, I found quite a few of it that may only go for a little bit. Like maybe some of it's like $10, $15 for a plate, for example. They have all kinds of different dinnerware. But then you would find the really nice Limoges that went for like $200. But it's made in France, and I would say Limoges is quite I don't want to say common, but I feel like Limoges is one that a lot of people know. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, the thing is, for the most part, the newer stuff will actually say, Limoges on the bottom. But
Mm-hmm.
even some of the older stuff, you have to really kind of know those hallmarks and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So, and that's another crazy thing about when you get into China. And for the most part, for me, I've been learning about glass and everything this year and pottery. So like I don't know if you do this, but every year I have kind of some goals of things that I want to learn. I'm always learning. I've been doing this for a long time, and every day I'm learning something new. And just like you said, when you worked at the antique store, you were always learning about different things. So glass and pottery is one of the things that I'm definitely learning about. And so Limoges is just one of those kind of things that you need to know your hallmarks, and a lot of that stuff is hard to look up because it's not as simple as like sometimes you can't even read the stamps that are on the bottom and things like that.
Definitely, definitely. I tell you, a lifesaver that saved us a couple times when it is readable. You can go on Google and there's like that little picture button that has helped us out so much. So if you're ever like trying to source China, like maybe you're at a thrift store or wherever and you see some kind of mark that you don't know what it is, that's what we did a lot when we had no idea about something. We just like Google image searched, and that seriously is a lifesaver if you're completely new to the game.
Yeah, it's definitely. I didn't even know that was a thing till a couple years ago. And in the art world, I kind of deal with art. As you can see, my mini museum.
Yeah.
I have so you can do those reverse Google searches with artist signatures and things like that because some of those artist signatures are definitely illegible. And we got Popeye's postcards in the house. He says hi, Chris.
Hey,
For
guys.
Yeah, for anyone that's into postcards, Popeye's postcards, John, he's definitely the man. We got to get him back on the show. Um, so basically coming back to glass and everything like that. Do you do a lot? Do you do any sourcing other than clothes, or are you strictly clothes now?
You know, I don't want to say I'm strictly closed. Definitely not. I know that there's definitely money elsewhere. Just because, I mean, I love clothes. That is what I like to sell. That's what I enjoy listing. I enjoy taking pictures. I enjoy shopping for it. I could shop for clothes for hours, and it would be fine with me. However, I know that other stuff sells, and I will sell it. Uh, but I try not to sell everything, like how you were talking about glass. My husband is the glass man at the store. That is his like passion. The guy knows his Murano and all those other, great things. But if it sells well, I will sell it. I'm not ever going to say no to really anything. But I will tell you, if I walk into a Goodwill or a yard sale, I will go straight to the clothes first. That's how I'll answer that.
Right. And for a little kind of insider ball, Murano glass is an Italian kind of glass. It's got its own unique, swirly, colorful style. And for those that don't see, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I've been learning about that stuff. So when you said Murano glass, I totally knew what you were talking about. So that's really cool. Like I said, I'm the opposite. I go into Goodwill and I'm looking at the hard goods. I don't even want to pay attention to the clothes. So
Husband. That's my husband. We can't go shopping together anymore because he has no interest in the clothes. He wants to see what the vases are, what the cups are, the CDs or, whatever, and then he's done. And I'm on the opposite of that spectrum. But, I think it can work both ways. You can sell both things.
yeah, absolutely. And the fact that, you have your husband there, how often does he go with you all the time to those kind of sourcing trips?
No.
No,
Um,
okay.
since my husband still works at the antique store, like I said, we worked really long days there. He's really only home like one day a week, and he works all the time. So usually when I go sourcing is usually on a Saturday or a Monday. Saturdays I always go. I hit up the yard sales first thing in the morning, like before the sun's out in the sky. I'm out yard sailing, and then on Monday is whenever my Goodwill changes their color tags to $1. They change the color each week. So that's when I like to go to Goodwill. And both of those days, Saturdays and Mondays, are extremely busy for him. So I actually have not been sourcing with my husband in months, I would say, at this point.
Well, that's cool. At least, like when he can go, it's like you kind of he goes this way, you go this way. So let's just dive right into the close aspect of
Okay.
this interview. So, like I said, I don't know much about clothes. I mean, I kind of do. I know some of the brands and everything. What would you say, so we can bring some value here to the listeners? What would you say is like the best selling clothes right now? Like just anything.
So, right now, if you were to list today, what I would recommend that you list that will sell really quick, Halloween costumes, they're selling like crazy right now. Here in like 3 weeks, you're not going to be able to sell them. So, if you have any Halloween costumes, you want to get them posted ASAP. Also, you got some, you better get them listed.
I have literally 3 tubs, and I hate to sidetrack your whole thing right now.
It's okay.
Every For the last 6 years, these 3 tubs, I'm like, "This year I'm gonna list them. This year I'm gonna list them." We're almost at October.
You need to get those listed. That death pile is getting bigger and bigger. You got to get those listed.
Okay, so go ahead. So Halloween costumes, okay, gotcha.
That's for sure selling right now. I just listed some, and like I've already sold like two within just like a couple days. They're selling really quick right now. Also, Christmas sweaters, Christmas vests, anything that you can put in your title, ugly Christmas sweater. that stuff is selling. That stuff is like hotcakes right now. Another thing that you're going to see that's going to be selling right now, maybe not so much clothes, but kids' toys. If you can get your hands on some kids' toys, people are already shopping for Christmas. We're getting into fourth quarter here. October, that is your month you want to get your kids' clothes up. As far as like clothing items, actually, I wore these just for an example. These are just tassel earrings because I figured we were going to talk about this, Chris. So I was like, I need to come
You,
prepared. So I came
you,
prepared.
you, you read my mind. And real quick before you get into that,
Yeah.
I have to ask,
Mm-hmm.
how long did it take you to pick those ones out? Because I'm sure you were looking at all different types of earrings, trying to figure out which pair to wear for this show.
Well, I would love to say that I really took my time, but as I walked over to my jewelry rack, because I have a rack of like 200 pieces of jewelry, my husband called and he was hungry. So at that very moment, I had about 5 seconds to where I had to pick out my earrings and then get in the kitchen and make him food before this interview. So it didn't take me very long, but I kind of had an idea. I wanted to at least wear some kind of tassel, because these things, if y'all can find these at like yard sales or Goodwill, these things are selling from like $15 to $20. These are, and you can probably get them less than $1. They're extremely, extremely popular right now. So these tassel earrings right here, anything with the tassels, even on the clothes or the little pom poms on the clothes, those are one of the most top searched in the description of, besides brand names, when people are just searching certain things, they're searching tassels, they're searching pom poms. They're very much on trend right now.
Oh, that's great, because I wouldn't I wouldn't even have known. And it was funny because Jacob Charles says here, I wish I understood women's clothes. I felt like it would be more worth it than men's clothes. And I replied to him, buy bras. I stay away from that stuff, but I think I saw you with some the other day, and I left a message on your thing. Are those are those big money, or what's the deal with that?
I'm glad you asked me about that. I actually have a video coming out tomorrow, and y'all, that we did not plan this. Okay, this is just me and Chris talking right now. Tomorrow I actually have a video coming out. It's going to be what I found at the yard sales this weekend, and I got, I think, 6 or 7 bras, and I explain kind of what sells. So there's definitely money to be made with bras. Okay, like I know a lot of people, when they see them, they don't even want to touch them, they want to just keep moving forward.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I totally get that. But there is so much money to be made, especially if you're looking for the right ones. Like I was talking about in the video I posted a day or two ago, um, stick with the big name brands. Stick with what people are searching for. Victoria's Secret, they sell, I guarantee you, they sell like 1,000, 2,000 bras a day on eBay. Victoria's Secret is a very highly searched out bra. Their bras retail between $50 and $80. So people are definitely willing to pay $20 on eBay for the same exact bra. Also, the very big size bras, which is what I talk about in tomorrow's video that'll be uploaded. I found some women that have a bigger chest, they can't just go to Walmart or Victoria's Secret. They have to go online. So if you're already offering bras online at a better price, a lot of people are willing to pay that. And so, yeah, I do touch a little bit into that in tomorrow's video, but there's money to be made.
That's okay. Great. So, so what would you say? So, okay. So let me let's back up here a second.
You
So
didn't know we were going to be talking about Victoria's Secret now, did you?
no, I didn't. But this is something that for me, like as a guy, I don't want to be the weirdo looking through the bra. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of I don't know. It's strange for a guy like me to do that. But anyways, so what I'm saying is, so you're saying what are your bolo and your pro tips? Look for, is there
Look,
specific sizes that we need to look for? Is there specific brands we need to look for?
I wouldn't. Okay. With the sizes, if you can find any sizes F or G, Those are the really big sizes, and you'll know before you read the label that it's a big size. It'll be bigger than my face. Um, those sell because you can't go to a regular store and just buy that size. You just can't. So most women that wear that size anyway are shopping online. So that's a bolo. If you can find a size F, size G, if it's a good deal, pick it up. Especially like I found 6 bras. I can lot them together and probably sell them for $60. Easy. Super easy. Also, if you're looking if you see anything that says Victoria's Secret, if it says Victoria's Secret, it's going to sell. Everything I've ever put online with Victoria's Secret has sold. I've never sat on Victoria's Secret. But the specific ones you want to look for, if it says push up, which or padded, which you'll know in the bra, it'll feel very foamy. And if it says Dream Angels, some of their bras are the ones that retail for $80. Those are the ones you can resell for like $30, $35. And usually you can pick them up for like a buck at Goodwill, a buck at a yard sale.
Oh, that's great. So Popeye's postcard says it's only strange if you're trying on the bras on in the store. Oh my goodness. So no, that's good to know. So like not to like drill down on this subject, but I find it fascinating because uh there's been so many times I've pat this up. Now, is there things that we need to look out for as far as like if they're broken or wear or like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
is there specific things to look out for as far as condition?
Definitely. If it's in bad condition, no one's going to buy it. So, what you want to look out for, what people are looking for, is the straps and the hook in the back. So, in the back of the bras, they usually have 3 little hooks. A lot of times, that's where you're going to see the wear. The paint on the metal will be completely rubbed off, usually, if you wear it for a good amount of time. So a lot of times either the paint will be rubbed off or maybe even it'll be bent or even worse, it's gone. If you see bras like that where you can just tell that one specific hook looks very different than the rest, because usually women only hook it on one hook every single time. They don't change hooks. So if you see just one hook that all the paint is rubbed off of that hook, that's not a good bra to buy because you can totally tell it has a ton of wear on it. Also, on the straps of bras, they have an adjustment where you can adjust how short or how long you want your strap to be. I would go ahead and just adjust it right then and there, because if you can't adjust it in the store, when someone buys it and they can't adjust it to their body, they're going to want to return it.
That is some great information. Also, Reseller King says if a wire is sticking out, and that's like I think under the cup. Is that where that wire is?
Yeah, they have underwire underneath the cups.
Yeah.
If that is coming out, that's a thrower. Yeah, you can't fix that. You just need to throw that one away. Yeah, that one, and you should be able to see that. That should be very noticeable. It'll be usually on the inside of the cups, right in the middle. You'll see kind of like the metal shooting out.
Gotcha. And also, Miss Mimi says, please don't smell them. That would look weird in the store. Okay. Definitely won't do that. All right. I think we talked enough about this subject. Let's move on to shoes. Do you sell any shoes?
I do. I actually just listed a pair. I was shocked. I got these shoes at a yard sale this weekend. I think I paid 50 cents for them. It was like in a big bundle, so I didn't pay anything for them. They were baby Timberland boots. And I was thinking they were going to go for 10 or 15, and those things are selling for 25 to 30, which was shocking to me. Boots are something that I find probably because I live in Mississippi, I find them all the time. So if anyone's ever in a Goodwill and you see a pair of cowboy boots, look them up, because usually those things retail for like $400 and someone is very willing to pay $70, $80, maybe even $100 for a pair of boots. That's a bolo. I don't think anyone talks about that, but boots sell.
Yeah, we get in Uggs every once in a while here. And I know the Ugg market has kind of dropped off in the last 5 years or so. I remember when you can just list those and they would sell all day long, and the kind of, they're not as, but you're talking like leather boots, cowboy boots, stuff like that.
Western cowboy boots. If you can find those, People usually pay, like, I think we paid last time we got ours from the actual boot outlet. It was like 400 and something dollars. That's just how much they go for. So a lot of people, if they don't have the money to, which a lot of people don't have the money to pay for a new pair of boots, they'd much rather pay $80 for a used pair.
Gotcha. And we got Perla's Precious in the house. She says, hello, everyone.
Hey, Perla.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, is it Alicia?
Alicia.
Alicia, because I think I was saying Alicia or something the other, like
People say it all different ways. I get called Ashley. It's all the same.
you got it. So I put her link again in the chat. So she's you're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So let's go and do that. And it's definitely smash the like button. We got definitely some more interview here to go. Do you have any hobbies? And if so, do they play a role in your reselling career?
Well, my hobby was YouTube for years. I always just enjoyed filming myself, which sounds totally weird, but I found that a lot of fun. And it wasn't until recently where I decided, hey, I want to take this more seriously. I want to get on a schedule. I want to do this every single week, like make a dedication, do it. But that was a hobby of mine for years. In cooking, I love to cook. I cook almost every single day, and I love to bake. I have a blog, but I'm terrible at posting on it. But I have a food blog and a travel blog. I love to travel. We're actually planning a vacation right now to Colorado for the winter break. So yeah, YouTube, which is hopefully going to turn into a career in the near future. But that's definitely a hobby. Cooking, traveling, I love all those things.
So would you say, like, when you're traveling, do you ever go into thrift stores in different states or different countries, or kind of do some sourcing? Do you want to tell some stories about that if you have any?
Okay, yeah, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a funny one. Um, okay, so last year, we were in Japan. We were in Tokyo, and something that I didn't realize. Now, Tokyo currently, or at least it was last November when I was there, was the largest city in population. It may have changed. It's always, going up and down. But you would think in that big of a city that there would be a ton of thrift stores, right? Well, we found that not to be the case. I did a quick Google search before I got there because I totally wanted to go check out what they had. But before I got there, I searched like thrift stores, like Tokyo, and we went to probably three of them until we realized that their idea of thrift was not my idea of thrift. So their idea of thrift is just clothes that haven't sold to sell them, but they don't believe in reselling clothes. So I don't know what they do. I don't know if they just throw them away, but I was reading about it after I came back, and apparently it's not a thing. They don't appreciate that idea or that concept for whatever reason, but they do have places labeled as thrift stores. So anyway, yeah, I ended up going to a bunch of thrift stores that were just clothing stores. So I
Right.
spent almost a whole day doing that.
So it sounds like their idea of thrift stores is like discount stores or something
And
like that.
not really even a discount, to be quite to be
Really.
quite honest.
I,
Yeah.
I will say though, the Japanese market, they love vintage Levi's, and anything denim
Hmm.
does very well over there. So that's really cool. But any other places? So that, if you'd go on vacation, do you have to like hit up a Goodwill, or do any of that kind of stuff?
Well, my favorite city is Atlanta. We go there every single year, and it's popping in Atlanta. If you're ever in Atlanta, go to North Atlanta. That's where the more prestige live. That's where you're going to find the mansions, the millionaires.
Right.
That's where you want to go. And they do the dollar sale up there. So, yeah, every time I go to Atlanta, I go to the Buckhead part of Atlanta, North Atlanta, and hit up that area. So, yeah, if you're ever in Atlanta, check out the Buckhead area. We stop there every single time. It's usually the last stop before we come back home.
So you mentioned the dollar days, and I was talking to someone a few months ago, and there not every Goodwill actually does that.
Mm-hmm.
So you should definitely check your Goodwills if they do, and that's a really cool day to go and get some really great discounts. And for those who don't know, Alicia, what is it?
Like Alicia Keys. Alicia.
Alicia Keys. There you go, Alicia. I knew it. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I only know one language. It's English, and I can't even get that right. So there's that. So would you explain what the dollar days are for those that might not know what that is?
Yeah, so basically, whenever you walk into a Goodwill, you're going to see, all the racks of clothes and you're going to see different colored tags. So basically, what Goodwill does to ensure that a lot of that stuff gets bought is they rotate the color tags, at least at my Goodwill. This is, and maybe, I don't know if it's like a Southern thing, it may be. I just know the ones in Mississippi, I've seen do this. Alabama, I'm trying to think of all the ones I've been to. Alabama, Florida, and then the ones in Atlanta. So mostly in the southern region, what they do is every Monday they change a color tag. So say today's Monday, they'll say red tags are $1. And then the next week they'll say blue tags are $1, and they just rotate those colors, um, basically just to move inventory that's been sitting for a month or longer.
Yeah, it's a really good. I haven't been in a long time to Goodwills, and it's a matter of fact, I haven't been sourcing in a long time. It's kind of weird working out of a
You don't
thrift
need
shop.
a source. You don't need a source. You got a tub of Halloween costumes you
Uh,
got to sell online.
Exactly. That is you made a spectacular point there. But those days are the best days to go and like load up on jeans and pants. That's what I used to do. I used to like wake up early in the morning, be the first one in line, and literally like the day before, I would even sometimes go in there and kind of position the pants in certain areas so that they weren't all bunched up in one thing. And then I would go and just pick them all up, throw them. I was crazy. I was like militant with the dollar days and everything,
Yeah.
but what would you usually pick up on the dollar days?
Usually, okay, so how I do it every single time, I get my cart, and this is how my brain works. I like to start from the left side of the store and go down every single aisle. And whatever I see that I like, even if I don't know about it, like if I see a brand I don't know, I'll still throw it in my buggy or my shopping cart. I guess someone's going to make fun of me for saying buggy, but I'm going to say it again. I'll throw everything in my buggy, and and I know I'm not the only one doing this, because on my Instagram, people have been commenting, and they say they do this too. I basically just load my buggy up with anything and everything that I think may sell. So I'll do the clothes, I'll go through DVDs. I only look for certain ones, like old horror DVDs, stuff that sells really well. I'll go through all the home goods. I go through everything, load it in the buggy, and then I go to an empty corner and I pull out my phone and I look every single thing up. And that's helped me, because sometimes if you're just picking up stuff and you don't have the time to look it up, you'll, even though it's $1, you'll kind of waste your time and money picking up stuff that ain't really gonna sell.
Yeah, and definitely a pro tip for those that are out there. And I'm going to actually try to do a screen share here, and I'm probably sure this isn't gonna work. Okay, let's see if I'm gonna actually try to do a screen share right now and see if this
Here
actually
we
works.
go.
Anchor Bay for horror DVDs, if you ever, okay, so here's a pro tip for everyone. When she was talking about horror DVDs, look on the side. There's going to have the production house on the side there. Look for this logo, Anchor Bay. Like a lot of the Anchor Bay horror DVDs actually go for a pretty good amount of money. So that is a pro tip for everyone
Yes.
right there. Um, Miss Minnie asks, Married life. Do you go to the Goodwill bins?
Oh, I wish I could. Where I live, I don't think they have. I've looked before. I think they have one in the entire state of Mississippi, but I do go. It's a very rare occasion because I have to drive so far, but I drive into Alabama, into Mobile, and they have one. And I really just go for fun. I've never found like, supreme. Like I've never found that, but I found some good stuff. I think I've just never had time to really go and spend time there. But the Goodwill bins is an amazing place to source inventory because if you're picking up really thin, light materials, you usually are only paying 50 cents for that. Everything's done by weight. And even whenever you average it out, even if you get some heavy jackets, it still typically comes out cheaper than it would at the normal Goodwill prices.
That's good to know. I went to the Los Angeles bins a couple of times, and it was like a dystopian post-apocalypse nightmare for me, actually. So, to each their own. I won't go near Goodwill bins, especially here in Los Angeles, where the mutants come out.
I can
And
imagine.
I swear, like it was a very interesting. Like it's like a social experiment. I mean, it was crazy. Like there was people with like surgical masks on and like
To dig in
gloves.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I was just like, is this like a hazmat scene, or is I don't even know if this is even sanitary. Like I don't even want to be in there. It had to this The Goodwill bins has this really odd smell that I can't do. Like I feel like I gotta shower and bleach after I went to. It's
Ooh.
just really bad. And I'm overreacting. Of course, I'm overstating like the whole situation. But for me, oh my goodness. I just
Funny.
I couldn't do it. So Popeye's postcard says, I say Buggy, originally from Pennsylvania.
All right. Yeah, I'm always correcting myself. I worked in the tourism industry for so many years that I didn't realize how many Southern things I say. And buggy is one that I would get made fun of all the time if I ever even mentioned that word. So I'm always conscious whenever I'm doing my videos if I say it because I always know someone's gonna think it's odd. Y'all say shopping cart?
Shopping cart or cart, yeah.
Cart. Yeah, it's
Cart.
buggy here. It's
Yeah.
buggy.
There, and it's funny because like even things like my grandmother's from the East Coast and she'll say
Mhm.
like pop instead of soda. And I guess it's like soda pop. And so, we say soda here on the West Coast, and I guess like, on the East Coast it's a pop thing.
So here it's even weirder. Here it's Coke. Everything's a Coke. So like if you
Even Pepsi.
yeah, so if you're like, hey, I want a Coke,
Oh no.
they're like, what kind of Coke do you want? Like that's just how so everything's a Coke here.
That's that's too funny.
Yeah.
So let's kind of we'll kind of switch gears here a little bit. Now you sell on Poshmark, and is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I try to do Poshmark over the last, I would say, 3 years. I've got tried to do it on and off. I haven't had any success with it.
Mhm.
Um, as well, the thing is for me, I didn't put the time and effort needed to actually build a store. Do
Yeah.
you want to talk about Poshmark, what your kind of situation is with Poshmark and how you do sales and everything like that?
Yeah. So what I'm about to say may be a little controversial because it may be completely opposite of what you've heard
Sure.
online. If anyone watches Poshmark videos, a lot of people on YouTube that you're going to watch, they say you have to pick up name brands. You don't share your closet. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. And I go probably opposite of that. I pick up style versus brand just because I can't really find a lot of good brands where I'm from. So I focus on style. I also heavily believe in sharing my closet. I think if you're not sharing your closet every single day, multiple times a day, it hurts you because if you have something, for example, that's just for example, say it's Calvin Klein jeans. If someone types in Calvin Klein jeans and you just shared that item, your item is at the very top of that search. But if you haven't shared that in just a day, no one's going to see your jeans and no one's going to scroll that far. There's so many people on Poshmark now. I think they said there's over 2 million people on Poshmark at this point. Um, you got to put in a lot of work if you want to. That's something that makes it a lot different than eBay. eBay is one of those platforms where you can just, there's my pictures, there's my description, there's my title, I'm done with it until I sell it. And Poshmark is not like that. Poshmark is very much a social aspect kind of app, like where you're always communicating with people, you're always sharing your stuff, you're following people. I'm on a ton of groups, I'm involved in the Poshmark community, but all those things will help you sell. Recently, just in the past month, I got my mom and my sister to do Poshmark. I've been trying to get anyone I can to come do on Poshmark because I see the possibilities. I see that you can actually make an income from this, but it is a lot of work. You got to share your closet. You got to have a lot of followers, because if you're sharing but you don't have anybody out there looking at it, your chances of selling that item are only if someone is searching for that specific item. But a lot of times, if you're sharing it, say you have 20,000 followers, if you share, I don't know, a helmet, that's totally random. But if you just share a helmet and someone's not even looking for that helmet, but they're on your followers and they scroll down and they're like, wait a minute, I need a helmet. I'm going to like this and come back to it on payday. That's how a lot of sales happen. We call them, some of them, we call them unicorn buyers, people that really have not shared. They're kind of like ghosts on Poshmark, and they come in and buy. But yeah, Poshmark is a lot more work than eBay. However, for me at least, it's become way more profitable than eBay.
So
I
Krista says, unicorn buyers, you heard it here first. So Miss Murray asks, how, oh, let me put that up here. How do you keep up with what is popular clothing style of the day? How do you keep up with that trends?
Yeah, there's so many things you can do. Even just a quick Google search of trends in 2019, trends of fall 2019, 2019. Pinterest. If y'all want to sell clothes, you got to get on Pinterest, because that is where all the girls are looking at for inspiration right now. We're not necessarily watching the runway where you're seeing all these expensive clothes come out. We're not doing that. We're on Pinterest. We're on Instagram. Those are the places if you just go on Instagram and you go to the search bar and you go to tags and you type in OOTD, which is outfit of the day, and you click search, and you'll see there'll be a top post, hundreds, if not thousands of top posts. Just look at what those girls are wearing, because whatever they're wearing, their 1 million followers are going to be online searching for something really similar to that outfit. So Pinterest and Instagram, and even just a quick Google search, those are your best and free resources.
Yeah, that OOTD. I always wondered what the hell that was. I mean, I guess I could have Google searched it, but I'm a typical man that my attention span is like a goldfish. So I was just like, oh, whatever. I don't even care what that is. But no, I mean, I've learned a ton already. And you know what? I gotta put on my scientific glasses here, folks, because we're gonna really dive down into something real quick that I think is important here. All right, scientific glasses are now on. So now, all right, so you talked about Pinterest. Now, I must say that Pinterest is one of the underutilized things in reselling. Now, the fact that you brought it on, like, validates the fact that you're even here. Like, you know what you're talking about. A lot of people don't use the sharing thing on Pinterest, and it's a huge market. I have folders for my postcards. I have folders for specific items. And you were right. People do share them. And those are links that go directly to your listing. So do you want to talk any more about Pinterest?
You can use Pinterest to utilize so many different things. Whatever business you're trying to do, honestly, you can use it. At our construction business, We simply take pictures of jobs we've done. Like, say we do like a backsplash in a shower, put that thing on Pinterest. It doesn't, you don't even have to put your name up of what you're doing. You just put the picture and people are already interested. That's the type of business Pinterest is. It's not a bunch of, words like, come check out this website. No, it's just basically a website with just pictures upon pictures upon pictures. And there's so many people on Pinterest. There's men on Pinterest. There's people of all ages on Pinterest. It's not just something for 20 and 30-year-olds. People of all ages are on Pinterest. Whenever I worked at the antique store, some women would come in with their phone and they would just show me a picture of a Pinterest and they would say, I want it to look like this. So anyone that has any type of business, y'all need to utilize Pinterest. There's so many people that are on Pinterest, and you're right, it doesn't get the credit that it deserves. It's a great way to sell.
Yeah, no one talks about it. As a matter of fact, I'm actually gonna task you with something. You should actually do a Pinterest video at some point. Like I can do it, whatever. Anyone could do it. But what I'm saying is, if you're ever bored, definitely do a Pinterest video because there's no one talking about Pinterest. And I've had some private label stuff in the past that I've sold hundreds of units
Mm-hmm.
just through the Pinterest things, and you can promote it. You can throw some ad money to those things, and if you
Mm-hmm.
have something like private label or something you have multiples of, you definitely could do that for sure. So, like I said, if anyone takes anything out of this interview, is to go look at Pinterest for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. What I don't know if I have a super chat. Let's see here. It says $3 from Jacob Charles with thumbs up. But I don't know if that's a super chat or not. But if it is, thank you. And I think this is a $4.99. I think these are super chats. I don't get super chat, so I'll check it out. But thank you all for definitely doing that. I'll buy Alicia a coffee whenever I see her virtually, maybe. I don't know. We'll split a coffee for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
we definitely really appreciate that. But yeah, I even do Twitter. I'll share some of my stuff to Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I said, it's one of those things that you can even probably, there's been things that have trended that I've posted on Pinterest. Now, the thing is, Pinterest is a very visual platform.
Mm-hmm.
So just a simple photo of like, your junky socks in a corner is not going to really do it. So if you're a photographer, or if you have a photogenic kind of brain, and you have a really nice photo of like a photo of shoes that you taken and you're really proud of, those are the kind of things that, if it's displayed correctly, Pinterest will take off for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's been so many girls that I actually know personally that get paid just to take a picture of themselves wearing an outfit, holding a cup of coffee, and they just want to put that on Pinterest so other girls can click on it and buy the same top she's wearing. It's an amazing, amazing platform to advertise on, and it's usually simply just a picture. That's all you need.
Yeah, I'm trying to show my Pinterest account. I have literally like 20,000 followers that follow like various boards that I have, and like I said,
Mhm.
it's almost just like Poshmark and sharing, and
Yeah.
so definitely do that. And I don't know if we got I don't know if I don't know if these are super chats popping up, but oh, super chats, great. Oh, so maybe they are super chats. So $5 from Popeye's postcard. So thank you very much. Like I said, I don't really get too many super chats, so that's very thoughtful of everyone, and I appreciate that. But moreover, I like that. Moreover, uh, go and subscribe to Alicia. Here is her channel right here, and you're going to get a lot of information about clothes. So if you're curious about clothes, what I really like is how you take like a 20-minute video and you go through every piece, and you kind of talk about like the different things and the sizes and the colors, and you really go the extra mile with describing the clothing. And I really think, for me, who doesn't know anything about this subject, that really helps. So I mean, I definitely appreciate that. So let's talk about, have you had any issues with Poshmark, because let me just back up a little bit. The second thing I ever sold on Poshmark was a purse. The buyer got it. They said that it wasn't what they wanted and that it wasn't as described, and they sent it back and it was a different purse. I mean, it was the same style. They sent a fake back. So it was a Coach. I sent a real Coach purse. They sent back the same purse,
Yeah.
but it was a fake. So luckily for me, I had really high quality photos and pleaded my case to Poshmark, and I got my money back and they got suspended. But have you ever had any kind of issues with Poshmark?
Luckily, no, I have not had any issues, but I will tell you just from being around other women and men in the Poshmark community, I do hear about a lot of like weird returns or whatever. And even though I've never personally gone through that, I will tell you that what everyone says is that Poshmark usually has the buyers back, which it seems like that was your case as well. So as long as you're being honest, I think you shouldn't have any issue getting your money back. Just from what I've heard, from what other people have said, I feel like eBay. I've had a lot of issues with people buying stuff on eBay and all that. So as far as Poshmark, if anyone's like nervous about it, I say as long as you're being honest, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point about eBay, and I swear eBay is just a bed of scammer. I mean, here's the thing: like, I haven't been, I haven't been scammed on eBay for years, and so, but what I'm saying is, eBay used to be a place for sellers. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's a buyer's market, and if
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things. I hear. I'm a admin to a Facebook group, and I just added you the other day. So
Yeah.
definitely go and post your finds there and everything. But what I'm saying is, every day you see a story of someone getting scammed. You send something and then they say it's not described, and they get back like not what they said. But eBay's like, we don't care. We're all about the buyer, and so um, you're right. Poshmark took very good care of me. And the thing that for me that was the key was I took really good photos. So everyone out there, if you're going to sell any higher end stuff on Poshmark, make sure you take high quality photos of basically, the label inside, the things outside, because that's what got them. Is it looked
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same, but there was like certain things that were off about this Coach bag. And anyone that have sold, uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly. So definitely.
Yeah, I've had some really bad luck with eBay. Recently, I had like a month long claim. I sent something. I sold it for $72, which isn't like a ton of money, but it's not cheap either. And the lady flat out lied and said I sent her an empty box. But the thing that saved me was I went to the post office and they weighed it. And that was the only thing that saved me because eBay was ready to like give me a negative review on my profile and all that. So yeah, I don't have much luck with my eBay claims. I have to fight for those things.
So at this point in your reselling career, would you say you're all in with Poshmark right now more than eBay?
Currently, I'm definitely focusing more on Poshmark. My goal, because I'm very new to Poshmark. If anyone watches my YouTube channel, you're gonna watch me from the very beginning. I'm very honest. I come straight out there and say, hey, I just started this a few months ago. I started this in June, and I already can see that it's something I want to continue with because I've noticed the more and more inventory I'm getting, the more sales every day I'm getting, and it's all adding up. So currently, I haven't stopped eBay whatsoever. I just haven't focused on picking up more of those eBay items because my goal right now is to list at least 100 items a month to the end of the year. I'm trying to get my closet up to at least 600 items. I think at that point, I'll get to my $1,000 profit per month number. Because I'm making about half of that right now, and I'm at about 300 listings. So my goal right now is 600. So currently, I haven't stopped eBay, but I'm definitely focusing way more on Poshmark.
Now, do you do a lot of cross listing at all?
Yes, I actually just cross-listed a jujitsu outfit that I got for $1 at Goodwill. Because there's a lot of stuff that sells on Poshmark that will not sell on eBay, and vice versa. But there's definitely items like that jujitsu outfit that could sell on both platforms pretty easily.
Yeah, I use Macari now a lot. I've used Macari for the last 6 months, and I should actually start to do some Macari videos because I really have got to know that platform like a lot. And I think Macari people don't realize, but you're right. Like Macari, there's things that would like sit on eBay forever, but
Hmm.
like within 2 days on Macari, it'll sell. So I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. Have you sold on Macari? Have you looked into that at all, or?
One of my favorite YouTubers, he's a smaller YouTuber. His name is Jim Butler.
Mhm.
Y'all gotta look him up.
I'm gonna look
He
'em up.
is so funny. He has that personality where when you click on his videos, you don't know what he's about until you're into like the third or fourth video, and then you're like, okay, I get you, I get you. And he would agree with me. I'm good friends with Jim, but he sells on Macari and he talks it up on his channel because I now I don't have a Macari account, but I know him and a bunch of my other reseller friends, they sell on there. And from what I can tell, the fees are so much cheaper than both eBay or Poshmark, which would make it a great platform to sell on
Well,
just for
it's
that reason.
yeah, it's 10%. It's a
Hmm.
flat fee, and they do all the buying through a credit card or a debit card, so you're not getting charged a PayPal fee. And then
Hmm.
basically, if you are established and you have your identity verified, you can actually move your money into your account like instantly. So, like Poshmark, I think it takes like maybe a day or two to transfer money into your account. Is that true?
So how it works with Poshmark, once you sell something, you don't get the money until you ship up your item, you ship it out, and the customer accepts it. So sometimes it could actually take 7 days from the time that you sell an item to the time that you get the money. It all depends on when your item actually arrives and whenever the customer hits accept on their side. So it takes a lot long. Poshmark is it takes the longest to get your money on Poshmark.
Right. And I mean, it's understandable. I mean, for the thing is, Poshmark's mostly about clothes, and the return rate is
Mhm.
pretty crazy with clothes in my thing. I sell a lot on Real, and we talked about a little bit about Real before the show.
Mhm.
And, there's those waiting periods between you get your money because of the fact that, returns are so prevalent. So we're getting to the top of the hour here. I want to thank Alicia for coming on and definitely doing the show. And so definitely go and check out our channel. I'm actually going to post it down again right there in the chat room. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and all those super chats. I really appreciate that. I don't get super chats like at all. And the matter of fact that there's a few people here watching the program, I definitely appreciate that. And do you have any last words, any words of advice or wisdom?
Well, first, thank you, Chris, so much for having me on your channel. I really appreciate it. You have a much bigger audience than I do, so I'm so happy that I can reach maybe a little bit more people and encourage them to do something a little bit new, maybe something they haven't heard of before. Thank you for everyone watching. I hope that you will go ahead and check out my channel. It may not be for everybody. I do a majority of clothes, but if that's something you're wanting to get into, just know that there's definitely money to be made. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My Instagram is Alicia_R_Murray, which I just remembered. I know we were talking about this before the show that I cannot remember my Instagram name, but that's my Instagram name. If you ever have questions, please feel free to reach out and direct message me on there.
All right, everyone. So definitely go and check our channel out. And thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you on the next show. Take care.
Bye.
I'm pushing.